Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, but hey, no wahala, I'm back. Today we are going to talk about 5 things to do before you give out money to purchase a land in Ghana. So if you're in Ghana, if you want to buy a land, if you're in the diaspora and you want to buy a land in Ghana, TNE, listen to this because it's very important. A lot of people have been duped because they did not know the right things to do. My name is Emmanuel and I'm your real estate manager. All of my life I've been doing real estate businesses in Ghana and have been buying and selling land, and I have a degree in real estate, so I know what it means to buy land and sell it in Ghana and all the loopholes that you need to understand. Let's begin. Number 1, you have to make sure that the person you are buying the land from has the complete document, has the complete land document. Okay, now it is important to know that the land is already registered. Okay, so how do you know this? So the person has to present to you a completely signed indenture by both parties. That is an indenture signed by himself, by the people he bought the land from, whether it's a family or for another person. Also, the person must have a site plan, a proper site plan. So today I know that it is called a cadastral site plan. If you don't know how a cadastral site plan is, I'll show you one. So a cadastral site plan is very, very, very important to this. Okay, and then if you're living in Accra or Kumasi where land title is required, you have to show, the person has to also show you a copy of his title registration or the title certificate. Okay, then you know that, okay, this is the complete document that the person is genuinely indeed the owner of the land. Now, the second thing you have to do is also to undertake your independent private search from Lands Commission. Now, it's important that you get to know Lands Commission gives you the breakdown of all the transactions that has happened on the land prior to the purchase. So for every land, it's important that you get to understand what has happened, what's the history of ownership of the land. Now, why is the search at Lands Commission very, very important? Because it reveals into details what has happened on the land, what all the people who previously owned the land have done with the land, and you get to know as an owner, to be able, as a new owner or a prospective owner, to be able to make your informed decision before purchasing the land. So a typical search document will say that, okay, the land was previously owned by so and so family, or so and so stool, or so and so chief, or whatever, and this person signed it first. This person bought it, a lease from it, and had a 99-year lease, blah 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 blah, and then in another year he sold it to this person, and this person is now said. So you know everything that has also transpired on the land. Now, one very important thing is that, in Ghana you can actually take a loan and use your land as a collateral, right? Good. So once you do that, the bank the bank puts a mortgage on the land, and that mortgage is registered at the Lands Commission. So that transaction will know. So if the person is selling you the land for which he has used as a collateral, search is what is going to reveal to you. Now, search is also what is going to reveal to you that this person is indeed the right owner of the land. So his name will appear on the search document. If that name corresponds to the title document he gives you, together with his ID card or something, to see that he indeed owns the land, then you can be sure for yourself that this is the person who is selling the land for true. So search is critical and extremely very important. The third thing you should do is to consult a property valuer, okay, before you buy a land. If you're not experienced in buying land, if you want to experience in getting to know how much land in this area costs and all that, please, in order not to overpay, in order not to pay too much for land, I don't think you would ever pay less for land, but in order not to pay too much for land, your best bet is to speak to a property valuer. Please, if property valuers are all over Ghana, you can find them in Accra, everywhere in Ghana, in Takoradi, everywhere. You find them in Ghana. Please speak to one. Let them advise you. Let them go and inspect the land. Let them advise you on the current market value of the land. Now, this is why it is important. From a bargaining or negotiating point of view, so let's assume somebody came to tell that, hey, I'm selling my land, and you are also interested, you want to buy the land, and you realize, okay, the person is taking, let's say, 20,000 Ghana cedis. You take an independent valuer, and he goes to assess the value of the property or the land, and you realize that, okay, no, actually the market value of the land is like, let's say, 10,000 Ghana cedis, or let's say 15,000 Ghana cedis, or let's say, something similar. Now, once you know from your valuer, you can now independently, it will help you. The valuation value will help you or guide you to negotiate, okay, so that you arrive on a fair market price. So otherwise, you throw away money. You throw away a lot of money that you don't need to throw away. So it's important. Be sure to consult a property valuer. It's very critical. The fourth things to do before you pay out cash or money, bank transfer, whatever, to a seller of a land is to make sure that the day you are paying for the land, that's the same day at least you are signing your lease documents. Now, it might depend on the sort of document it is. It can either be a lease if we're buying the land from a family, or it can also be, let's say, an assignment if you're buying the land from another person who has bought it from a family and is selling it to you. Please, it's very, very, very important to do this, because if you don't do this, what is going to happen is that you pay for the land and then you have not signed anything. Now, the indenture is more or less like the contractual agreement between the two of you, that this is when I'm going to buy your land. Okay, I've bought your land. This is a document of transfer of the ownership of the land from you to me. So make sure that the day you are paying it, that's the day you are signing the lease or the assignment, whatever document it is. Make sure you sign it. Now, there is a disclaimer here. For here, especially those of you who deal with chiefs and all that, there's another valid document that you can sign. It's called allocation note. So this is very popular in places like the Ashanti region, where if you buy a land in the Ashanti region, the chief gives you an allocation note. Why? Because it is not the local chief who will give you or sign the indenture for you. It will be it will have to come from the Otumfo Secretariat, okay, Land Secretary. They are the one who do the valuation and all that. They do the land document preparation and all that, and this will take a little time before it's ready. So that's why also an allocation note by a chief is also very important. So at least on that day of transfer of the money, make sure at least you have the allocation note, but don't take an allocation note from a private individual unless that person is a chief, and most likely in the Ashanti region. But if not, don't take an allocation note from a private person that, hey, I'm giving an allocation note. No, make sure that it is the lease that you are signing, and make sure that that's the day you are paying the money to the person. The next thing also to check, which I think should have been the third, I think I jumped it a little bit, but is to make sure that you check for the unexpired term of the lease. This is extremely crucial. Very, very crucial. Now, this unexpired term, if you have done your search, you would know, because the search from the Lands Commission will outline the years and everything that has happened. So, for example, if the person took a 99-year lease from a chief, for example, and the person has stayed on it, let's say for 50 years, you realize that the person bought it from so and so year, and you are now taking over maybe from another year. So you know that the unexpired term will be this, even though on the Land Commission search document, it will not be explicitly stated that this is it, this is the number of years left on this lease. No, but what will happen is that the Lands Commission will give you the year point, okay, at which point any transaction had occurred. So that is also very important. But how do you now get to know of the unexpired lease on the lease document? So the person's lease document he gave you, if you read it from the first head lease, so depending on if the person has a lease of 99 years from the chief, when was the first time the land was registered? It's not the first time the land was registered by the person, that the first time the land was ever registered. Okay, so if let's assume the land was first time ever registered in, let's say 2000, the year 2000. Today we are in the year 2003. So if the person is transferring it to you, know that 23 years has passed. Okay, so you deduct 23 years from 99 years and you are getting apparently like 70 something years. Now, why is getting to know the unexpired lease very important? It's important because it helps you to negotiate the value of the property. That's why I'm saying that getting a services of a valuer is crucial, because the valuer will advise you that, hey, the property you're trying to buy has 50 years, 30 years unexpired lease, and you have to watch out because depending on what you want to use it for, if the 30 years expire, you have to go back to the landowners and renegotiate the value with them also. That's the law in Ghana. But otherwise, that will inform you whether to go ahead with the lease or not to buy the land. So it's important, make sure that you know the unexpired term on the lease. And the last and final thing to get to know is make sure that after you bought the land, please, within 3 years, be sure to develop the land. Well, I would rather start to develop the land earlier than 3 years. Why? Because in Ghana, there are a lot of unscrupulous people who can easily pass your back to start developing your own land before you realize. But also, you have to start developing the land as soon as possible, because the law says that within 3 years of acquisition of your land, you must start developing it. If you don't develop it, later the landlord or the owner of the land has the right to re-enter, that is to repossess or get the land back. So develop your land immediately after acquisition. Start developing, put a property on it. Now, what constitutes development of land? This is a question a lot of people ask. Okay, so you say I should develop my land. What constitutes developing my land? Developing a land can be as simple as laying foundation on it, or building up to a lintel level, or even a wall, mounting a permanent wall, not a temporary one. A permanent block wall on the land is enough to constitute a development on the land. I hope you've learned so much. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe to this channel, and let me know if you have any questions, what you think. If you have any experiences, share them on the comment section. See you later. Bye.